All right, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, Detroit. You are listening to the newest edition of Speak Your Piece, coming to you live from No Cave Radio Broadcasting. We are currently home. We're recording this from our houses this time around for a couple different reasons. But before we get into that, again, my name is Eric Guzman. Sitting alongside this week, as always, is my co-host Jeremy Bryant. No Evan Hoy again. First show of the year, and he's back to his in and out ways, man. But I know he's got issues with his dog. Got to hear the dog. Dog's okay, just doing a quick little health checkup. But again, Jeremy
Yeah.
Bryan, Eric Guzman, we're sitting here at our houses, coming to you again, giving you the newest edition of Speak Your Piece. Again, you can always find us on our Facebook page. Again, make sure you're following us on the Speak Your Piece page on Facebook. And again, you can always find us now at our new handle, Speak Your Piece 313. Jeremy, it has been a little bit of time since we have seen each other. It's been a couple weeks here. But again, with that being said, I do want to catch up with you and just kind of check and see, how everything's going with you. How's your health, your mental health, things along those lines, man. Talk to me. What's going on? How you been in our little bit of time off?
Man, time off has been a little bit peaceful, a little relaxing, but still kind of stressful with work and everything like that. Did have a COVID scare with my girl earlier
Oh, did
on
you?
and earlier on this year and everything like that. So that got kind of crazy. So
What, if you don't mind me asking, what happened with the scare?
Oh, she was just at work and basically like around a couple of her coworkers, and one of them tested positive, of course, a couple days later. So put her all in a scare too, because she was in so much close proximity with them that once she got through hanging out with them, she went back to her desk and then didn't want to be like the super spreader.
Gotcha. The Super Saiyan spreader. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, buddy.
But what's been up with you, man? I know you've been off for a couple weeks. You just been chilling.
Yeah, so I mean, like I mentioned in our last show a couple weeks ago, yes, I am officially unemployed now. I took my last day on Christmas Eve. And while I was kind of enjoying the time, and kind of getting into the process of looking for another job, unlike your girlfriend, I unfortunately did get touched by Omarion, so I did test positive.
Oh no! Oh
Yeah,
no!
I did test positive for COVID this time around, but I'm hoping the worst part of it is over. I'll be honest, it hasn't been too brutal of a situation, but just when you're a big guy like myself, have asthma and everything, what really has been getting to me the most is the fatigueness, and sometimes at moments there's been moments of lightheadedness. So I was like, oh man, like you sit there and feel like you need to
Yep.
sit down and like just chill out for a minute, but just trying to do the best you can to push through and make sure everything is working out all right. So, other than that, man, life is good. The missus is okay. She's doing all right.
That's good.
I don't know exactly where I got it from. I think I have a general idea, but I don't want to say yay or nay just in case it wasn't one. All I know is Mariana came through, touched me on the nose real quick, and told me to go sit the fuck down for a couple of days. So
Well, I mean, at least he gave you that to just tell you to chill out a little bit longer before you hop on that full throttle work mode.
yo, wait, speaking of that though, hold on, wait. Before we
Oh
get
boy.
into everything,
Oh boy. What's up?
did you see? I want to say it was like the BET Awards or the something along those lines, like a music awards show where they actually had Omarion and they had to he got tired of it. He was like, "Yo, I'm not a virus."
Wait, no. When did this happen?
I swear I sent it to you. I wish I could find it. I wish it was something I was thinking about beforehand, but yeah, there was some award show where he's like, I am Omarion, like they introduced like I am Omarion, and he goes, if I touch you, it's okay. I'm like, bro, they had to go out here. He was getting killed.
I did not see that. I did
I
not see that
forget
at
where it
all.
was at, bro. I forget what show it was on, but it was hilarious. I saw it says like, bro, like he had to go out here and clear his name like badly.
I didn't see that, but I did see Jason Derulo going after some fan and like basically giving that two-piece combo because someone mistakenly called him
Someone
Usher.
called him Usher. Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
about that, bro. That was hilarious.
I know Jason Derulo had it in him like that.
Hey, all I gotta say is if that man was having a bad day, that guy picked the wrong day to to come out with some shit. So, All right, Jeremy. Well, we have a lot to catch up on in our little bit of a hiatus here, and I know the fans probably hate the fact we take so much time off as it is, but there is business moves behind it as well. Also, so with that being said, be on the lookout. Also, we are going to finish creating our SoundCloud page probably by the end of the week. I know, like I said, me catching COVID right now has kind of hindered the process on that. And again, probably in a couple of days, you will see a YouTube page also. So we are going to go ahead and keep moving forward with that side of the business, so we can go ahead and give you some visuals as well also. But Jeremy, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's start things off with the week the week that has been. We're going to go ahead and start off with the college football championship game. So the last time we met, it was the playoff games, and again, what's done is done at this point in time. You got the final matchup between Alabama and Georgia. Once again, it's the third time this year they played each other. And, I did watch a little bit of the game. That was probably the very first or second day I had my COVID symptoms. And, I'll be honest, I tried to watch it, man. I tried to hang in there. But, the first half was super, super slow. It was a very slow-paced game. Nobody was making a lot of progress. It was all determined by field goals and everything. And I passed out during the second half. So, like I said, I know the first half was a very close-knit game. What's his name? Jameson from Alabama did end up tearing his ACL on that, potential turnover play. But again, it didn't come to fruition. And then again, prayers out to Jameson as well, also on that ACL tear. Hopefully he'll make a speedy recovery. But Jeremy, did you finish catching the second half of the game? And if you did, take us through what happened the second half here.
I did catch the second half of the game. I was actually out at B-Dubs watching it for a little bit. And as you said, the first half, mostly defensive, all defensive until it came down to those field goals here and there, which, it kind of brought to the whole hype of this being the third time that
the trilogy.
They're facing each other. It's like, all right, these two hard-nosed defenses, they're not giving up anything. But after halftime, I mean, it was mostly back and forth, and then the Tide kind of took a little bit of a lead, but the turnovers and the 3 and outs just killed Alabama after a while, and Georgia just capitalized off of every single thing, especially the
final turnover interception.
Yeah, the final interception at the end just killed the momentum for Alabama and all hopes that Alabama fans had, especially thinking that Nick Saban is going to somehow pull this off again, and this is going to be a repeat of 2019, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Something against Clemson or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the Devontae Smith overtime touchdown.
Yeah, so I mean, again, shouts out to Georgia, University of Georgia. They did go ahead and get their first championship, the first one in 41 years, which was, again,
41 years, bro.
That's crazy. 41. But, and not in a bad thing, though. It's not the longest thing we've seen. Obviously, the Cleveland one, when LeBron won the championship in Cleveland, which was 52, 56 year. 52-year drought. That's wild. Cleveland Browns are still looking to get a championship somehow. Us in Detroit, we're still looking to get a championship. So, at that point in time, it is what it is. But shout out to both players or both teams for making it that far. Your takeaway from this, man, well, let me ask you, since you did kind of watch the game as a whole, one of the things I will touch on with that also is that, again, yes, even in the first half, even though it was like a very strong defensive game, what I will say is both teams, especially Georgia at first, it was turnover central, one after the other for both sides of the teams.
Yeah, definitely. Turnover central. Stetson Bennett, I got to give credit to him. I got to give my hats off to him. This walk-on guy just taking over this QB spot. A guy who honestly thought to himself that he was never going to be able to start at Georgia. I mean, he sat on the bench for like 2 years before he ever got to start and got his push, and now he's showing the world.
Beforehand? I know you said he was a walk-on, but where did he play beforehand?
Oh God!
If not, no big deal.
I do not have it on hand right now. I'm imagining this some small state school, if anything. I got you. Definitely have to double check that. But yeah, seeing him on the bench for those 2 years, having to sit there and to just watch and then just wait, hoping for his chance. I mean, he let out tears of joy at the end of that game, and you got to feel happy for the guy at least, man.
It looked like a very like happy moment for him also, like, him chilling with Quavo the whole time off the field. Quavo was off the I'm
Yeah, did
telling
you
you, man,
see that?
Quavo pops up in random spots.
Yeah, like the Migos was there, Mark Ingram was there, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Swift. I'm like, what
Everybody
are they
was there,
doing
man.
here? Oh yeah, your boy Andrew Luck and RG3 were there as well too. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah, I
them.
saw that. I saw that was, I'm not gonna lie, that was a nice moment to see that. RG3 doing this thing with ESPN broadcasting, covering the college game, and to see Andrew Luck come in, because again, that was those at that point in time when they were getting drafted, they were the top two quarterbacks at that time.
Yep,
So to kind of see them reunite, kind of have that little moment, I digged it, man. I thought it was pretty dope. So,
I
but
dig
yeah,
it. I wish Andrew Luck could have dressed up a little better, but I mean, he, he looked like a
yeah.
skinny homeless man. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god. Listen, there's been moments of great dress ups, and then there's been moments of what the hell are you wearing? And that was kind of one of those questionable ones, like right in the middle. Like, it's not bad, but wasn't the most professional thing in the world either. So
Like you're standing next to RG3, he looks like he's about to sell you a house right now, and you
I
look
do think
like
that he came prepared to, like, like, I came to work, and Andrew
exactly.
Luck's just like, yeah, I got asked to be here. It's the first thing I could find.
It's the first thing I grabbed out the closet. Hey, you want to see what I got at the farmer's market last week? Here, I took
Oh
photos.
my Yo, but the thing is, bro, like, and I don't know if it's an Andrew Luck thing or what, man. No matter whether he grows the beard out or he just like shaves it, he just got that face that says, like, I ain't got it, man. Like, it's that look, bro. Whatever the look is, I can't buy into it. Like,
He's like, I don't want to be here right now, but I'm here. So
staying with football, man. Let's move into NFL because, man, like I told you, it's been a busy week. So again, college football is done. Oh, real quick before we go into that, I want to ask you real quickly. What does this say for the coaching staff in both Alabama and for Georgia? Does Kirby Smart kind of take the lead as the new guy in the SEC, or do you still think that even though this is a loss, does Nick Saban still the man that needs to be dethroned at all times?
oh, definitely. Don't get it twisted. Nick Saban is still the guy in the South right now that needs to be dethroned. And honestly, given his track record against the people who have been assistant coaches under him, I mean, he's 25-2. Both of these losses came this season at that. I mean, the man was 25-0 starting this season. Like, come on now.
Facts.
Come on now. Jimbo Fisher and Kirby Smart are the two that, took him down, but he's still the man in the South. Like, all these students are going to want to come to Alabama regardless, just to get that teaching and that coaching from Nick Saban. Kirby Smart's going to put up a hell of a fight though down there as well too, to be like, hey, we are different. We're more fun over here. You're going to get more chances to play, more opportunity to play earlier on in your career. But hands down, you're still going to want to side with Saban. And honestly, that's why I was rolling with Alabama in this game, but ended up taking an L on that too. So
Yeah, man. Listen, I can't blame you at all. Sorry. Let's go into these. Let's go into national football here as we go ahead and kind of look at the playoff picture that now is officially locked in. Jeremy, you have the standings of everything of who everyone's going to play. Let's go ahead and pull that up if we can and kind of just see what we're looking at here in that aspect also.
well, my computer's kind of slow, but here I got them on my
Oh
phone
Lord
right now,
Jesus.
so I can read you. I don't want to lose you on the internet again, but I can read
Share
it for you.
share it with me if you can through text if you can.
Yeah, definitely. Give me a second on this.
Yeah, no. Here I am trying to be more professional, and because we got different internets here, we got to make sure that everyone can keep track of what we got.
It's the combination of my internet and the computer at the same time. So
Whenever you're ready, man, just so that way I can reference it at some point in time. So
yeah,
as you're doing that, we'll talk about some of the games that happened here. So again, some of the teams that officially did make the cut with that. Also, the Las Vegas Raiders are officially in the playoffs. First time since I believe 2012 ish.
2012. You are correct. Yes.
Okay, cool. I kind of threw that out there. It was a random number that I just thought stood correctly. San Francisco 49ers, they beat the LA Rams in overtime off a field goal. And Debo Samuels, man, what a quarterback he could
Debo.
have been. But yeah, I mean, the Bengals have officially made the cut. The Chargers are out. I know the Chargers were looking at possibly sneaking in, but again,
I'm still upset about that, man.
the Chargers.
Yeah, the whole Chargers Raiders thing that it came down to a field goal the last week of the season, where
But that's football, man. That's good
if they
football.
both could have tied, you're both in. Like, why not just take a knee at that point?
I don't know, man. Hey, but how do you explain that then? Like, because then who would have been out? Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Pittsburgh would have been out.
Oh, I mean the way how it sounds, I mean Ben don't look like he want to go play the game right now anyways. But all right. So we have the final matchups in here right now. So again, the 49ers did make it in the NFC, and in regards to the other teams over in the AFC, the Raiders made the cut, and the Patriots also made the cut, also with the Steelers. Also, the AFC was a little bit of a closer race. So as you look at it here right now, the Titans did get the first week. They got the number one seed, and they'll have the first week bye in the AFC. So you're looking at the Chiefs versus the Steelers, the Bills and the Patriots, and then the Bengals and the Raiders. That's the AFC. And then as we move over to the NFC, the Packers got the first week bye. Then you're looking at Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Eagles, Cowboys versus the 49ers, and then the Rams at the Cardinals, finishing up the 4 and the 5 seed. So, Jeremy, as we look at that also, first and foremost, let me just say, shockingly, I am super, super surprised Kansas City, after the season they had, closed out the number 2 spot, but I'm definitely concerned now because they didn't lock in that first week bye, and having the struggles that they have, they are a little bit of a concern here. But as I'm looking at both conferences here, I want to ask you, what is the number one the game in both conferences to keep an eye on? And in both conferences, what team has the biggest upset alert facing them? So I'm going to have you go ahead and start off on that one.
Upset alert, biggest upset alert. I don't want to say this, but I'm going to have to say it, even though I put my money on this team earlier in the season. It's probably the Cowboys right now.
I was going to say, you think the Cowboys are out?
Cowboys and the 49ers right now. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this team right now. I really don't. I want to see Dak go far in this playoff. I really do, after everything that he's been through. But going up against the 49ers right now, I know Jimmy G probably isn't playing. I don't believe he is. I think it's another Trey Lance week again, but
Jimmy started in the last game, and I know there was concerns about his hand, but he did perform the whole game. So I mean, he could start, but I mean, again, if the hand seems to be a bigger issue, they probably will go to Trey. What's his name again? I'm sorry.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. Sorry, someone typed in Trey Lyles earlier, and I don't know why I was thinking that. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah. So that's the biggest upset for me right now.
That's NFC. Now, what about the series to keep an eye on the most?
Keep an eye on the most,
especially in wild card week. We'll start with just wild card week, and as of right now,
I got 2 to 3 that's up in the air right now. I know the Rams and Cardinals shouldn't be.
That's the one I want to watch. That's the one I want to watch, hands down.
Yeah, it's going to be the most flashiest game of the weekend, I honestly think, which will keep a lot of eyes on that. But I feel like the Rams will easily roll over the Cardinals with that. The Bengals and the Raiders, that one could get exciting.
That's an exciting one.
That can get really exciting. I mean, Jamar Chase pulled off that amazing 3-touchdown game the last week of the season, which was the crazy.
That boy's walking away with offensive rookie of the year. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, he has to. He has to.
The way how he's played all season has been phenomenal and top notch. So I mean, he's doing shit that no one's seen done on a rookie level before.
But another one that I could potentially see being an upset, and I really don't want it to be an upset, but
Bills and Patriots?
Oh, no, I was going with the Steelers and the Chiefs.
Really? Well, I mean, like we mentioned before, man, Ben Roethlisberger makes it sound like they're about to be out right off rip. Did you see his press conference?
I seen that. He looked like he was just giving up automatically, just like, you know what, I'll show up, but we're not winning. But what if they sit here and somehow pull this shit off? Like somehow, some way, like the team just plays up for Ben, it being his last year, and the Chiefs just don't show up at all. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill coming off the COVID list, and Travis Kelce isn't really producing the best that he has earlier on in the season. So it's like, I don't know. Chiefs defense isn't that great either. So
No, it definitely isn't, because I mean, again, like we mentioned, Ben, so to enlighten people we were talking about, I was trying to pull up the audio real quickly, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it in enough time. But they asked Ben Roethlisberger, what he thinks his chances are. And, he pretty much said in a nutshell, look, we're the last team that pretty much made the cut. We're probably not even supposed to be here. He's like, it doesn't really seem like, it seems like we don't really stand much of a chance. And, again, as this is potentially, it's been rumored Ben Roethlisberger's last year coming from your franchise quarterback. I don't think that's the I like if I'm in the locker room, I don't know if he's being a smartass or if he's really into it, but if I'm a team, I'm like, yo, you got me a little concerned. Like we should just like run out of here like on some real shit.
Like, hey, we should probably start making vacation plans like right now instead of just going to KC because it's like, what's the point?
Well, listen, man. In regards to the topic of the conversation at my end, also, again, I'm with you. I think the Rams Cardinals game for the NFC is going to be the game, the series to watch. Just they're the game to watch just because I think, like you said, it's the flashiest. It's probably the most high octane. Both quarterbacks are going to be in the playoffs. Again, and they're both going to be looking at. And again, think about this. Everyone's excited for the Rams. The Rams are back in the playoff hunt, right? But here's the thing. You have now Matthew Stafford, who has been in the playoffs, but has not had a playoff win yet. No playoff wins in his time in Detroit. You have Kyler Murray, who's now getting to the playoffs for the first time in his career and is going to be looking for his first playoff win, too. So, I mean, it really just depends on if that's the one that I'm going to have my eye on the most. I think it's the most exciting one to watch. In regards to upset alert for NFC, I've been heavy on the Cowboys this year because it looked like they were the real deal. But looking, man, seeing the way how 49ers came out wanting to win, wanting to get back in that playoff hunt, they got something to prove. And like a lot of people also state also, the 49ers are probably the last of a dying breed of a very physically beating up, offense and defense scheme. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. In regards to the AFC, you have Bengals and Raiders, which I don't think is a bad choice either. But for me, my series to watch is going to be the Bills and the Patriots. And this will be the third, I believe, the third time that
The
they play each
third
other
meeting.
this year. So it's again, just like we talked about with the Alabama and the Georgia game. It's the trilogy. This is the do or die one. I know Bill Belichick's, trying to make that playoff run to kind of prove to everybody, I don't need time. I can make it work. But Patriots snuck in at number 6. They barely made the cut. And as far as the upset alert here, you know what, man? I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be super real with you. You have Chiefs and Steelers.
Yep.
As much as I like the Bills, I think Patriots have a chance to potentially upset them because it's been done.
What?
Yeah, man, it's been done this year already.
I know, but that was a weird low scoring game. I honestly think the Bills didn't anticipate the Patriots to be anything at all. So I don't see them like coming out flat on this game. I really don't.
I don't think any team will be flat, but again, you got to remember in the playoffs, every professional sports, your playoff structure is a different style of play. Bill Belichick has been there. He knows what it takes. Obviously, this is not his most desirable, probably not his most flashiest team, but that defense, though, on the way how Bill Belichick got players to come to the team this year, you gotta recognize what he's trying to do. So I think come playoff time, now that the Patriots made the playoffs, this may be a team that you have to keep an eye on.
All right. I mean, I can respect that. It's definitely something I'll have to look out for. No disrespect to Bill Belichick, but
No, absolutely
I,
not. No.
I'm still
Not.
rolling with the Bills Mafia on this one, man.
All right. Well, staying with now that the playoffs are officially in effect, that means for a lot of teams the offseason begins, right? So let's recap offseason things here. First and foremost, we officially have the draft order in lockdown. And again, we're not going to break down the whole thing, but after the Lions did win, and again, the Jags won their game also, because the Lions had a tie, the Lions will drop down to number 2 in the draft this year, and Jacksonville will repeat having the number 1 overall pick going into this upcoming draft. So, I mean, I guess shouts out to Jacksonville, but it should have been Detroit. But you know what,
Yeah.
though? I'll take the winning. I'll take the culture that Detroit has built this year over what Jacksonville is going to have to go through. So, speaking of what Jacksonville is going to have to go through, let's talk about the offseason for the rest of these teams here. We call this in the sports media world, we call this NFL Black Monday, because what happens day one, On the teams that have been eliminated, you start cleaning out house. So what's happened already? First thing is first. The Vikings got rid of their head coach, Mike Zimmerman. Obviously, Jacksonville is out with Urban Meyer. Who else got cut? Jones, the head coach from Georgia, or not Georgia, I'm sorry, the New York Giants.
Joe Judge.
Joe Judge, thank you. Joe Judge and the GM are gone. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the other big one too. Matt Nagy is out in Chicago.
He should have been gone. That was terrible.
He should have been gone. So a lot of things. Brian Flores in Miami, which I think a lot of people would say is the biggest shocker. That's been, he's gone from Miami also. So again, a lot of things happening right off on the first day in the first week of NFL, Black Monday. So Jeremy, let me ask you, out of the things that have happened thus far, number one, what's been, the most shocking move for you? And then again, in regards to that too, what do you expect? Like, what team are you going to be keeping an eye on the most?
Well, of course, the most shocking one is from the Dolphins firing Brian Flores. So, like, I know he didn't start the season off well, going 1-7, but still, he had the best bounce back out of all these people who have ended up being cut from their teams right now. I mean, he went 3 seasons with the Dolphins, ending 24-25. I still thought that was like a big improvement for them, and he still had some time to work with this team. I know the Dolphins are thinking about quite possibly getting rid of Tua, but who knows, really? I mean, who knows if they can somehow persuade Houston to give them Deshaun Watson? We don't really know, and you won't know either what could happen with this coach and this team if just give him some more time at least. From that, the biggest upside team. Ooh, I guess the Bears. I guess I'll give it to either the Bears or the Broncos. So I know the Broncos fired Vic Fangio.
Yep, I forgot about that one too. Yeah, and then they're looking to interview for Denver. They're looking to interview the quarterback coach from Green Bay. Some people are hinting as that as a way to try and get Aaron Rodgers to change his mind and come to Denver. Which,
come on.
Listen, man, think about it though. Think about how they got their last good quarterback. Think about it.
Oh my God! Come on now. Don't do this. Don't even do this.
You don't think listen, I told you guys last time we recorded, the Broncos are always in the hunt to do a trade or do some type of deal to like move into some topic of conversation, right? This may be what they've struck out on a bunch of things, but Denver's always in that conversation. You have to keep Denver in the conversation for those things.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know if you hinted on this or said this or not, but Houston one and done deal with David Culley.
Yeah, I know that just happened earlier before we started recording. So yes, after one season, David Culley is out. I think a lot of that goes into the fact that David Culley was, tasked to try and get Deshaun Watson to, take his trade off the table. And obviously with what happened, that didn't pan through. So if he can't do it, all right, cool. We're going to get somebody else to do it here then. But listen, go ahead.
I kind of feel like he was like kind of set up to fail a little bit.
I think so. I don't like the way how that was done either. But
yeah.
Listen, a lot of rumors going around right now. The biggest name right now in this NFL head coaching carousel is U of M's head coach Jim Harbaugh, who did come forward and say that he is not turning down. He's not going to be denying any NFL rumors this year. He pretty much came out this year and said that he is interested. He pretty much subliminally said he is interested in possibly returning to the NFL if the offer is right. So, Jeremy, let me ask you, you're one of these few teams already here that have made a decision to, try and get into a new head coaching system or get yourself a new head coach. If you're Jim Harbaugh, what team is the most desirable for you to want to go to and for what reasons?
Oh, it's going to be the Raiders, of course.
You think the Raiders?
I think the Raiders. Somehow, some way, he's got Bay Area connections. He's well liked by the Raiders owner, Mark Davis. So I think somehow, some way, the Raiders could be the only enticing team to want to pull him over there. Like I said, the Broncos, I mean, if they're looking to get Aaron Rodgers, then I would take your path and, try and get that QB coach that that bad man likes so much down there in Denver. But yeah, the Raiders honestly could be the team to pull Jim Harbaugh away, but I don't think he's leaving Michigan. I really don't. I think this is just another nice rumor to throw out there to have his
But
name
this time around,
presented.
he's not denying it. He's not
Yeah, he's not
dancing
denying it at
around it. This
all.
time, he is coming up front. So I think that is something to keep an eye on. Is that again for for Jim Harbaugh, like usually before he's tap danced around it, everything along those lines, and he's always said no, I'm not going to do it. But the rumors have always come out. This year, he's at least saying like, yeah, I'm kind of interested in going back. But if I'm in the NFL and I'm making a coaching change, right? If I want Jim Harbaugh back,
Mm-hmm.
why not Chicago?
Why Chicago? You think?
Why not Chicago? Look, you got a young quarterback in Justin Fields, who is can be a running quarterback, not necessarily the best, but he can be a running quarterback. You still have a solid defense with again Khalil Mack, that whole defensive line that you have there. Obviously, Khalil Mack is not the Khalil Mack that we remember him for. He hasn't had a lot of play time, or
Yeah.
hasn't really stood out like that as of lately. But the structure is still kind of similar to like a nice offense defensive balance that he's created in Michigan. You could easily implement that into a professional football team also. And I think Chicago's got the best balance for that.
I like that. I can definitely see that. I do think he has a better coaching with the NFL than he does college students. Maybe that's just because these guys are grown ass men and they know their job, they know their duties, they know what to do.
But
Whereas
Jim
in the
Harbaugh does have, again, one of the things that's been mentioned on a couple of other sports media takes also is that Jim Harbaugh does have success in the NFL also as a head coach. Obviously,
yeah,
he's got that 49ers team that went to the Super Bowl on
yep.
many occasions, coached Colin Kaepernick, just, kind of throwing that out there. Maybe potentially gets Colin his return back after all these years. But
Ah,
Adam Scheffner has kind of reported some things here, and I'm looking at his Instagram here. And I want you to take a look at this here. There's been some interviews already. The Bears have interviewed former Eagles head coach Doug Peterson for the head coaching job. But here's one that really stood out to me, and I'm going to throw this here also. I'm going to read the whole thing, right? Jaguars have interviewed a couple people for the head coaching job. They've interviewed Jim Caldwell, former Lions head coach. Again, also Doug Peterson, Todd Bowles, Brian Leftwich, Kellen Moore, and they're also getting ready to interview Alabama offensive coordinator and former Texas head coach Bill O'Brien.
ew.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that one. What is your takeaway about Bill O'Brien potentially getting another chance in the NFL, especially from the last situation in Texas? The comments that were made, about DeAndre Hopkins, kind of relating him to Aaron Hernandez. Like, what's your takeaway from that? I don't think I'll let you go first, and then I'll speak my piece on that.
My whole point is, what do you all think Bill O'Brien is going to do different that he hasn't done before? He had the opportunity in Houston and he royally screwed that up completely all the way around. And then he went running back to Alabama to have Nick Saban, kind of whisk him under his wing and, carry him to this college playoff championship, which he did. So it's like, why would you take the risk once again to have him be a head coach of another football franchise of the Jags, who could quite possibly be on the rise eventually? They get another decent crop of draft picks in to somehow screw this up once again.
Yeah, I don't like Bill O'Brien coming back. Like, everyone's gonna give Bill O'Brien, his credit for being part of the Patriots, offensive coordinator role back when obviously Tom Brady was in New England, and obviously it was done on the Man in the Arena documentary series that we'll talk about here in a little bit. Um, but just after what happened in Texas, and especially the things that were said at that point in time, like, I personally would not want to bring Bill O'Brien back as a potential head coach. I
No.
can't.
Uh-uh.
And again, also with that being said, too, another report that just came out about 45 minutes ago from Adam Schefter. Also, I want you to put this into perspective here, and this is a conversation we're going to have year after year after year. Currently, after all the moves that have been made thus far, Mike Tomlin is now the only black head coach in the NFL.
Yep. Yep.
Sad.
I don't know whether to be happy for Mike Tomlin, which I am, but I'm also sad for the NFL at the same time. Like how could you let this happen? Why is he the only African American coach in this league? That all
Who
these
was the
teams
guy last
feel.
year? Who was the
I'm
guy
sorry.
last year? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Who
go
was,
ahead.
who was the guy last year from Kansas City who was the talk of
Uh,
the town, but never got the right interview aspect for it?
he is the offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy.
Why is this man not a candidate again?
I don't know. That's the same question I have right now.
Why
He
is
should.
he? Why am I here? Like again, Jim Caldwell, I believe deserves another interview.
Yes,
Just because
yes,
again, like he did get to the Lions to the playoffs, a handful, a couple times. Which again, like you've shown improvement to that organization, right? Cool. I'm not mad at that. But we all saw what Eric Bieniemy has done, and he's the offensive coordinator. You said right.
yes.
So we all were razzle dazzled by Kansas City's offense over the past couple of years when it like really started to like get into its prime. Not saying it's done, but obviously people have kind of figured out Kansas City to a certain degree. But why is this man still not in consideration? If you want to go for an offense, I'm sorry. If I'm Jacksonville, I'm calling Eric Bieniemy over Bill O'Brien.
That's my first choice. He's at the top of my list for everything, and it should be for all these teams looking to make a change, looking to improve their franchises right now. I don't know why you haven't reached out to him. Maybe it's because he's in playoff mode right now. You don't want to mess with that, but
And I know
still,
that's part of it, but again, you can request for an interview to happen also. Like if your
yes,
team is in the playoffs, you can request through the league and the team to get an interview with, someone who you would like to have a candidacy with. And the fact that that's not happening for him, but all these other names, like, I'm sorry, we all saw how Doug Peterson's last season went. Yet we're going to give him a call, offensive guru. Why
no,
not call Eric Bieniemy?
no. Like I said, that's my first choice right there. I mean,
If
respect to
I'm
Jim
going for
Caldwell.
offensive mindedness, I'm going for Eric Bieniemy, hands down.
Yeah,
Like I don't care what anyone says, I'm going for Eric Bieniemy.
yeah, definitely. I mean, respect to Jim Caldwell, Brian Leftwich, Kellen Moore. He's gonna get his chance eventually, but right now just isn't the time for him. But
And
yeah, Eric
it,
Bieniemy is the top guy.
right, and like we've talked about before, like even when that article came out earlier in 2021 or in the middle of 2021, when the season kind of started, with the Rooney Rule. Now they updated it instead of one minority. Now you got to interview two. Fam,
Mhm.
you should always interview somebody of diversity,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
regardless.
It doesn't matter. Regardless, it doesn't need to be a rule. You should be automatically doing this. You should take a look at who's out there, who's available, who best fits your team, your players, and their offense, and then interview that person. Like it shouldn't matter their color. I just don't get it, man. I don't understand it. It's frustrating for me.
Shit is wild, man. Shit is super wild. All right, you want to stay with football here? You want to talk about Man in the Arena, or do you want to move over to our NBA stuff?
We can touch on Man in the Arena. Did you get a chance to watch it, the last
I
episode?
watched the entire thing now, so I'm all caught up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched all 9 episodes. So the last episode was pretty much about the relationship between, which I have takeaways from it, but we'll get into it as a whole. So the last episode is pretty much about Tom Brady and his relationship with probably like his best teammate ever, Julian Edelman. And
Mhm.
again, they talk about the ups and downs going into like that last season when the Patriots won the championship against the LA Rams at that point in time. A lot of things that I forgot about Julian Edelman, describe. So Julian Edelman pretty much goes into a conversation describing what the Patriot way is pretty much saying like, you know, it's pretty much like real life shit. You call somebody out if they're messing up, being okay with starting scuffles on a practice field. But I
Yeah,
also forgot too that season Julian Edelman did get busted for the PED usage or the steroid thing, whatever it was, and was suspended for the first 4 games of the season. I forgot the Lions blew the Patriots out in preseason that year also.
it was
So
preseason. Calm down.
I know that's why I said I'm not getting super excited about it. But so again, there's it was a good intake on Tom Brady's last quote unquote successful season in New England. Also, I know when they started recording it, they did say that it was only going to be 9 episodes at the very beginning. Oh yeah, the director's like, we're only going to do we're going to do 9 of these. So when I realized it was episode 9, like, okay, it's the last one. I wish they would have done it up until like he made his decision to leave New England.
That's what I thought they were gonna do. That's why I'm like, this is the last one. This is it. Like, you just
Yeah.
leave with the Patriots. That's it. You didn't like take into account. Oh, let's talk about his decision to go to Tampa and at least follow him that first year there.
Right,
Like, come on.
because that's what everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know, why did he leave? Like, what was it that made him leave? But the fact we only get to that last winning season of his time in New England, I feel like kind of shorted the fans out a little bit. But now that you watched the whole thing, if you have watched the whole thing,
yeah.
What's your takeaway from the series as a whole? Do you think it was, pretty well done? Do you feel like you kind of understand the winning mentality of Tom Brady a little bit better? What's your takeaway from it?
I do believe it was very well done. I think at the end of it, I kind of understand Tom Brady's winning mentality or his mindset going into every single season. Like, it doesn't matter. We're just coming out here to work. We're coming out here to win. I'm going to be upset if we lose. Yeah, of course, everyone is, but I'm going to be right back in the next day in that gym, going harder than ever to try and prove myself that I deserve to be here. And he's done that every single year consistently for the Patriots and now for Tampa Bay. And just seeing his, I guess, his work ethic in and out, especially with the nutrition plan, the trainer that he has following him at all the games. I don't know if you've seen that, the one guy that he has
Alex
work,
Alex Guerrero.
yeah, working on him and everything, all before the the games and all this other stuff like that. Especially getting him ready when his thumb tore. I
Yeah,
don't know if
bro,
you've
I
seen
saw that. I
that.
was like, that was
Yeah,
wild.
that was crazy. Like, I didn't know a thumb could, I guess, bend or rip like that, and I was just
I
like,
didn't
oh,
either. I was watching
all
it.
right.
You said he bent his thumb, and I was like, okay, like, yeah, think about it. Like, yeah, your thumb can bend, but like
Like
he said that shit
ripping,
for, oh,
like yo,
I
that's
ain't gonna lie, that
extreme.
shit was nasty. That shit was disgusting. I
That's
was
that's extreme. If I did that on a Monday practice, I damn sure wouldn't have been ready to play on Sundays. And somehow he made it possible for him to do that. So I don't know.
yeah.
This is kind of a little bit more eye opening, even though we know as much about Tom Brady and his work ethic, but it's eye opening a little bit more. It's even funnier hearing him like swear and cuss throughout this whole series as well too, because you don't think you expect that from this guy, honestly.
Right. No, exactly. Like, I figured some small things, but like when you get to see him, like, it's so funny, like we talk about, you see the passion behind him as he's talking about, like, oh yeah, he'll talk and kind of explain it. But when you see it on the field, and especially like when you hear they can't keep up with us, they can't, I'm like, oh, he's into it. Like, he's really into it.
He's especially Julian Edelman in that last episode too, sitting here calling him, "You're old, you're too slow, you can't do it, you need to retire." I'm just
It's
screaming
weird
at him on the
motivation.
sideline, like,
It's strange motivation, but it works for him, man. Like, that's the crazy thing. It works for him. So let me ask you this real quickly, and I'll give my takeaways in here in a little bit. But hearing or watching this, and again, we've kind of talked on and off mic about it. How it kind of compares with The Last Dance. Which one did you like better, Man in the Arena or The Last Dance?
I'm kind of favoritism towards basketball, so I'm gonna lean The Last Dance just because MJ's my guy here, and that last season of for the Bulls, I think when I was younger, I paid a lot more attention to than football back then. So it had to be MJ and The Last Dance for me, especially getting that behind the scenes stuff that I didn't really know, wasn't really paying attention to as a kid back then.
Right.
So yeah, it had to be The Last Dance for me, but still respect to Tom Brady and
Oh yeah,
this
absolutely.
this
So that I'm gonna say The Last Dance also. I think The Last Dance was very original in the documentary series, like the way how they did it. Obviously the 10-part thing was pretty fucking nuts, but again, it was very innovative at the time. I felt like Man in the Arena tried to copy and paste that to a certain degree. But what I will say is this. You guys know I have a hate for Tom Brady.
Did this make you love Tom Brady a little bit more?
It did actually,
Oh
shockingly. This
wow.
made me really kind of appreciate like okay, like I get it now. Like to the people who are like football purists and things like that, people who like really enjoy football to the degree that the game is meant to be played at, I can understand why people love Tom Brady so much. And again,
Hmm.
you think about it, his career started in 2001.
College career, you mean the NFL career?
NFL career.
NFL career, yeah, 2001.
2001 he got his first start, right? And you look at what he's done over that 20-year period, man, I gotta give credit where credit's due, man. After you sit back and again, like I said, someone who's never really watched football up until the recent years that I have, and now you kind of go back and watch it and see it documented. For him to be there and be at the helm that whole time, yeah, man, I gotta give respect where respect is due. It was due. My few takeaways about the show that I did not care for. I've mentioned it on our show before, but I'm going to readdress it again just now that the series as a whole is done.
Yeah.
Um, Cheating scandals. I really wish they would have done a little bit more deep diving into the cheating scandals. Like when they did Spygate, they just said, "Oh yeah, Belichick knew about it and told us don't worry about it," and that was pretty much it. I wanted to hear a little bit more. I didn't like the fact that they only had two additional people at a time because, like,
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
because especially in that situation, like if you want to deep dive into that deflate gate thing, for me, like I would have liked to have heard, like, for who was it at that time? I think Wes Welker was on the team. I know he wasn't interviewed at the time, but like if they would have had Wes Welker there in that aspect, and he, not only is Tom talking about it, but you get Wes to talk about it at the same point in time too. I think that would have been a lot better for me. So it's like, okay, I understand the whole season from multiple people, right?
Hmm.
The episode I did like was like what I thought was really, really cool was like when they did the episodes with um, Michael Strahan and Richard Sherman,
Yes,
because you
yes.
got the opponent's aspect of watching the greatness of Tom Brady. It's like, oh, like Richard Sherman talking about, oh, you like when we saw Brady was getting flustered, he's like, oh yeah, this man, like he's a god, but
We got him.
he bleeds, yeah, like we can get him. So that was great perspective. I wish they would have done that for all those episodes, like when they talked about the championship. So even if they would have had at the most four people, including Tom, give me somebody from the opposing team so I can hear like what that perspective was from the opponent's side. Like what were the things you guys were um, having a hard time with, or what did you think you had in the bag that wasn't? Um, Other than that, man, that was really it. But let me ask you before we completely wrap up, man, in the arena here, that topic of conversation. What was your favorite episode?
Favorite episode probably had to be the one with Richard Sherman.
I was gonna say that. I think that one was mine.
That Richard Sherman, and I like your take as well too. Like I wish that they would have got for each episode someone on that opposing side when he was going up in all those Super Bowls.
Yeah,
But
like to have Donovan McNabb and like Terrell Owens, like if
yeah,
you would have had those for that Philadelphia team when they played Philly, that'd have been great.
come on, T.O. would have hopped on this if they at least offered it. I
Oh
think,
yeah.
but I don't like the whole it's Tom Brady and someone else in each episode. Like it needs to be a little bit more than just it's Tom Brady and one other person. Tom Brady and Gronk. Tom Brady and Julian Edelman. Because it seems kind of a little one sided as to all
Right,
right, this
right.
is what we're going through. This is what we're doing. Stuff like that. So
Yeah,
if
I
they could
didn't
have
really
added a
care for
couple
the
more
Gronk
people,
episode. I didn't care for the Gronk episode.
eh,
Like,
the Gronk episode was stupid. It was really stupid. Honestly, it's just I'm
but
Gronk.
that
I'm
but that
here to
was another
party.
moment though. That was another moment that they addressed on like when Gronk lost it and like head dived on that oh my god, what was that guy's name? And pretty much put him out for, like the rest of the season.
I don't remember his name, but I do know the episode you're talking about. And the
Yeah.
whole he just lost it because they were holding and grabbing him all the time just because he was a bigger tight end. So
Yeah. But like I said, I wouldn't have an issue watching it again. Like I still prefer, like I said, The Last Dance. Like I would rewatch The Last Dance again for sure. But again, with that being said, also it was well done. I can't complain too bad. Just I wish there would have been a little bit more. Like even with those Last Dance episodes, like they were arranged an hour and so. But I felt like having the multiple people on there that they did in the context that they did it I feel like
Mhm.
I understood that Bulls team a lot more versus like with Tom. Like I'm understanding Tom's greatness, but I'm mostly talking or listening through the eyes of Tom Brady and at points in times teammates and opponents.
Yeah, you're just getting an understanding time, whereas that Bulls team is like you've got everybody. You got MJ, you
Yeah.
got Pippen, you got Dennis, you got.
You even got
I
the
mean,
GM too. I wish there maybe would have been some more like off officiate like more officials like if you had Bill Belichick, if you had Robert Kraft, the owner, because again, those are the staples of the Patriots team that you know. I don't know who the hell the GM is of the Patriots, but I know who the owner and the head coach are.
yeah, exactly. Like pull them into this right here. If you love Tom so much, if you have so much respect for him, at least show up for this, at least one episode.
Right. Something, But what I will say is I do like the way how the show ended, where, Tom gave his kudos and his applause of Bill Belichick, pretty much said that we never had issues. Like when we did, they were just moments. So
Mm,
he kind of pretty much hashed that out like, okay, like, yeah, I left, but there's no ill will. So
yeah, exactly.
not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, let's go ahead and move on to NBA here. So we have some NBA stuff going on right now. The NBA trade deadline is coming up here as of February 10th. So we have a little bit, just under a month left, and we have some trades that have gone through, some trades that have been announced, and some that have been for the second time I've seen a trade that's been rescinded. So we'll start off with a trade that involves our Detroit Pistons. So the Pistons sent off Roddy McGrewer to Denver in exchange for Bull, I believe the young man's
Yes.
name is
Yep. Yep. That's
Bull,
right.
and I believe there was a draft pick in that also. Come to find out, that trade actually did get rescinded because Bull didn't meet the physical. I know they said both players didn't meet it, but from what I'm hearing, it was mostly on Bull side. So Jeremy, your takeaway from that, the Pistons not getting another big man, a very, athletic big man, if you want to call it for what it is. Your takeaway on that trade being rescinded?
This is so weird. I know it's recent, that this news and information came out, but I guess I want to know a little bit more as to the aspects of what happened during his physical that he wasn't able to, be a team member for us. I thought it would have been a nice added improvement, get another young talent to this Pistons team who, we're trying to make ourselves known for having this young talent that's on the rise. But this is just so weird, I guess. And it's kind of crazy because Rodney was already, with the team practicing with the Nuggets. He was ready to go. He was at shoot around, like he was ready to play in a couple days or the next game. And now he's just gonna get shipped right back to Detroit. So it's kind of weird. Like I don't know what's happening, man.
I don't either, but I mean, at that point in time, unfortunately, that is part of the trade because, again, obviously, when those trades happen, both players or all players involved have to meet, the physical requirements of the new team. So, I don't know if Rodney did fail, whatever the case may be, but we know for sure on the Piston side, Bull did not meet the requirements. Also, a little bit of rumbling, but not so much rumbling here with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons apparently sat down with Rich
Oh my
Paul
god.
and the Sixers organization, and nothing changed. Ben Simmons still wants out, not looking to come back. Last time we checked, they said it was he had reached up to already $10 million in fines. Like, you might as well just give your contract up this whole season to cover the cost of what you're going to owe.
This
Um, and then the
guy.
and then the trade that kind of set off here in our little debate here today was the Atlanta Hawks traded second year player and forward Cam Reddish, and he is going to the New York Knicks. The Hawks are trading Reddish to the New York Knicks for a deal that includes Kevin Knox and a projected 2022 first round pick via Charlotte. The Knicks are also getting Solomon Hill and a 2025 second round pick via Brooklyn in the trade. Listen, I talked about this already. I know I threw it up on our Instagram page here, but I think this is a movement here, and I'll explain why. But Jeremy, I'll give you the opportunity to talk about it here. Are you shocked about this trade by any chance? What's your takeaway from the news when it first came out?
A little shocked by it, in all honesty, just because Cam Reddish is his second year. He's still a young, talented player. He's still developing, but I can see where Atlanta just has too many wing players. Like they can't play everybody, and that's a young team down there too. That's kind of fighting for minutes. Every single person trying to make their own name, trying to shine out there on the floor. So it's kind of obvious that they were gonna at least try and let or cut somebody, move someone at least, because you can't pay everybody. So
Right, and they did sign on a lot of money this year. I know. What's his name? Josh. Their forward Josh Collins is a newly signed restricted agent. I think he'll be a unrestricted going into his next contract.
DeAndre Hunter is looking to get
Yeah,
his
they signed.
contract.
They signed. I think they said over 300 million in contracts over the offseason, which
That's a
isn't
lot
bad.
of money, man. That's a lot
But
of money. I don't think they're done making trades either, too, to try to loosen
But
up this
Cam,
cap.
like we mentioned, Cam has been on the trade block, or has been talks and trades since his rookie year. Like they thought they were going to trade him at some point in time last year. But with that being said, I want to bring this up to you here because this is something I talked about, right? This is something I brought up on our social media platform, and you and I have kind of bantered about it a little bit, right? Cam Reddish is going to the New York Knicks. Who's on the New York Knicks right now? One of their young stars. They have RJ Barrett, right? Both
Yep.
Cam and RJ played for Duke, right? If we recall, who else played on that Duke team?
Your boy Zion.
Zion can't play a whole season. Williams. Zion has stated, again, when the last time he played, which was I believe last season when he had that nice little run of games, he went and played his first game at Madison Square Garden. Said he loved the New York environment, right? Zion is also potentially about to be the first rookie that does not sign a max contract with the home team, right?
Yep.
So this is going to happen. So what I'm getting at here is I think this is a run for New York to try and get Zion Williamson. And here's why I say this, right? Listen to a couple of the big heads talk and some of the other capital and the other, big media capital ones, right? Zion would be dumb to not sign his max extension, right? It's guaranteed 180 plus dollars, $180 million in a contract, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as you sign that, we know Zion don't want to be in New Orleans, right? So here's what you could do. Who just signed the contract in New York?
Wait, who did?
Last offseason, Julius Randle signed a $200
For
million
the million. Oh
contract.
yeah.
Julius Randle is not having the best season this year, and the fans aren't really loving him after he just gave them the thumbs down and told them to kind of be quiet, right? Oh, I'm sorry, that was Tobias who told him to be quiet. But if Julius Randle don't do well this year, knowing how finical and picky that New York market is, I could see a sign and trade for Zion and bringing that young team back and having Zion play with his old teammates of Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett.
I mean, that will be nice. I would like to see a reunion with them all back together again, but I don't think New York is too quick to give up on Julius Randle just yet. I know he's having a down season or past couple games, past month. In all honesty, he hasn't shined that well, but I don't think they're just ready to give up on Julius Randle just yet. He says he loves New York. He says he wants to be here, but then again, Zion said he loves New York as well too. He loves playing in Madison Square Garden, but you got to take into account that Zion is always hurt right now. He's in a slump. He's a little bit overweight, but there is an opportunity and a chance that if anyone can bring you up from a slump, this best, man. It's your boys. So you might want to at least see what you can throw out there. Just hint this out there to the Pelicans to be like, hey, what do you want for Zion, and keep it on the low.
Well, again, if you recall, Julius Randle has played for New Orleans in the past. He was the backup to Anthony Davis at one point in time when AD was there.
Yeah.
So I mean, if Julius Randle does somehow get traded, and again, this is all hypothetical, but again, this is just all for what I'm seeing. But if it looks like it's going to happen here, it looks like now or going into next season may be the best time.
Yeah, I mean, 2023 season, I could see Zion in a Knicks jersey.
You say you think you could?
I could see him in the Knicks jersey. I honestly could. I mean, it's going to take a little bit more to pull him over to New York, but I think somehow, some way, if they can pull this off, man, this would be kind of sweet to see a
A
college
Duke
team.
reunion.
Yeah, a Duke reunion, a college team back out on the floor for one team. This would be kind of nice.
That would be wild to me. Well, listen, let's kind of stick with NBA news here as well. Also, so we have the second round of returns for All Star. Yes, All Star voting has officially started here, and I'm
I
going to
need to
look.
vote actually.
Yeah, I need to do my voting too. So let's kind of look. I'm going to start off in the East here. So if you're looking at the East right now, I'm going to give you the top five in all the positions here. So in the front court, which is forwards and centers, you have Kevin Durant leading the way, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, and Jimmy Butler. Those are your top five for the forwards. For the front court, and then for the back court, you have DeMar DeRozan, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, James Harden, and LaMelo Ball. That's your top five in each one, right?
Okay.
In the front court for the West, you have LeBron, Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Shockingly at number three, Andrew Wiggins. Number four, Paul George, and number five, Anthony Davis. For the guards, you have Steph Curry, John Morant, Luka Doncic, Klay Thompson, who just came back, and Devin Booker.
Wait, what?
Yes, I
What?
read that correctly.
Why is Clay on this? Like, he's played what, 3 games?
Something
Two,
like that, yeah.
2 or 3 games? Like, how is he on this poll already?
Listen, man, I don't know. I don't know how that works out, but I think I saw. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Who had it? Um, they had a starting lineup already based on like if All Star were to end today. I think they had. Let me go back here and see. I think for the front court, it would have been LeBron. For the West, it would have been LeBron, um, Joker, and Andrew Wiggins, and then for the backcourt, it would have been Steph and Ja. And then for the front court, for the starting five in the East, it would have been um, Kevin Durant, Giannis, and Joel Embiid. And then I think for the backcourt, it would have been DeMar and Trae Young.
Hmm. I mean, I think that Andrew Williams thing is going to change, even though that is shocking to
But
see him
he's been playing
outvoting
so well
everybody.
this year.
He can be in the reserve, but I don't know about starting. No, I just don't. I
I
just
don't
don't know
know.
about starting, man.
I don't know, man. But like I said, that was just just kind of what I seen already. So
But the Clay Thompson thing, man, that is shocking. The man has only played 2 to 3 games, and you've already
it's a name thing at that point in time. I think they even said too that even though he wasn't going to play this season, I think they said that they were going to still have Ben Simmons in the lineup or in the voting for that also, which again is
yeah.
kind of dumb to me. Well,
that,
listen,
that that'd be some shit if he shows up for the All-Star game and not the rest of the season.
well, listen, let me ask you this real quickly too while we're talking on here, right? Obviously, as we're talking about All-Star stuff, let's kind of talk about it already, man. A lot of guys have been playing. Oh, I found it right here. So All-Star starters. Yeah, so I was pretty much right. Nikola Jokic would be for the West would have been Nikola Jokic, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron, Ja, and Steph Curry, and then for the West it would have been Embiid, Giannis, KD, DeMar, and Trae Young as your starting five. Again, if it were all to close down today. But speaking of All Star awards and everything, right? A lot of these guys that we mentioned are in the MVP conversation, right? I want to talk about this MVP conversation that we're having also here. I just seen, let me open up my Bleacher Report app here while I'm doing this. They just had a breakdown of like the top 5 people who are in the MVP category here. And I want your takeaway from this. Let's see. I'm pulling this up right here. Oh, come on. But pretty much they had 5 players who were in the MVP conversation. Only one of them was a name that I thought would have been good. Let me take a look here. I'm trying to find this one more time. Sorry, I don't mean to drag out. I know I said I was going to do better at this. Trade Buzz. No, not trade. Come on. But anyways, we pretty much, with this MVP conversation that we have, I need your input here, man. I know I shared it on our social media platform on our Instagram page.
Yep.
Does DeMar DeRozan and John Morant deserve to be in the MVP conversation,
Oh, absolutely.
and why?
Absolutely. Ja Morant, just because of the way he performed last year and leading over into this year as well too, it hasn't stopped for him. He's still on pace. He's still trying to be number one. He's still trying to improve every single game that he's out there. And as far as DeMar DeRozan, he's overcome a lot. He is honestly, in my opinion, the most deserving to be put at least in this nomination, just because of injury, mental health that he was going through, watching the depression he had, watching his best friend, his teammate, win a championship after being traded to now being in the position that he's in, thriving with the Bulls. Like, you have to feel for this guy and believe that he's doing everything in his power to push this Bulls team to, a nice little playoff run. I seen somewhere in an article where, the Bulls lost the game and he did terrible shooting. He stayed in the arena after everyone left and still continued to shoot.
Yep.
Yet the maintenance team or the janitor team or whatever, they told him ahead of time, like, hey, look, we're going to start, taking the hardwood apart because we have to get ready for the Blackhawks game tomorrow.
Yep.
The next day, he was like, all right, fine, I'll stay and sit here and shoot until you guys tear up the part of the floor where I'm at. The man stayed back to shoot around after the game was over with, after he lost that same night. Come on, this is Michael Jordan. This is MJ type of level stuff right here, man.
And maybe that the spirit of Chicago got into DeMar, and quite possibly that could be what it is. Because I mean, he's like, so I found the report I was looking for, but it says right now he's averaging about 26 points, just under 5 assists a game. On almost 58% shooting. That's wild. That's wild. Other guys who are in the conversation, again, according to Bleacher Report, Kevin Durant, Giannis, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Steph Curry, and then they have number one, the Joker on here also. But I look, man, Ja Morant has to be in this conversation now. I'm sorry. And look, I know a lot of some people are going to say that that those two, DeMar DeRozan and Ja Morant, deserve to be in the most improved player count. No, those guys, what they're
most
doing
improved.
no. For what those guys are doing for their teams, they got to be an MVP. Listen, the Grizzlies right now are on a 10-game winning streak. They're number 4 in the West right now. DeMar DeRozan got there. The Bulls are number 1 in the East right now. You can't say most improved. Those guys deserve to be in MVP conversation, especially from the years that they had previously till now. They got to be in that MVP conversation. I can't see any other way that they're not in that conversation.
I don't either. I agree with everything that you say. Like, most improved, I don't see that. Most improved is like LaMelo Ball or something like that. Something
I wouldn't
along
even
those
put
lines.
LaMelo in most improved right now. I don't think he's having that great of a year.
I mean, I think he's coming along. He's coming into himself with that Hornets team. So I at least give him that.
Well, listen, man, we got some more news to talk about here. Also, nothing more in NBA wise. I mean, the All-Star game is usually Valentine's Day weekend, so you may have trades coming up to a hold here or coming up. And I know right now with this COVID thing, players going through player health and safety protocol. It's kind of hard to see exactly what's going to happen with trades because the unknown is unknown. I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. Let's jump into some of our entertainment news here. We got a little bit about an hour left. With that being said, also, we weren't here at the beginning of the year when it started, but we got to give some moment of silence here. At the very last day of 2021, this young lady was always part of an internet hoax, and it was kind of tough to say at first, but the news came out that Betty White actually did pass away this year. made it to 99 years old, couple weeks, about 2.5 weeks away from her 100th birthday. I know a lot of people were getting ready. I know in the movie theaters there, with one of the movie theaters I go to, the Cinemark brand, they were getting ready to do a 100th birthday type of deal for her, like a special filming that they were doing, whatever the case may be, if it was done already. So she passed away at the age of 99, just hours before the year was over. And then as the year turned, just news that broke earlier this week. I believe he's from the Michigan area too, but if not, I know for sure he made a big impact as on TV and in the comedy world also. Former comedian Bob Saget passed away at the age of 65 in Ohio. I believe they haven't officially confirmed it, but they did say it looks like he passed away in his sleep. So it didn't look like he went out in any painful way. But Jeremy, your reaction to these passings that we seen while while we were gone?
Bro, these two are like both shocking. And I don't care what anyone says, fuck 99. Betty White made it to 100. I'm she made it to 100, at least in my eye. And as you said, that internet hoax, every single year we go through this, like, oh, Betty White passed away, and then she pops up and you're like, I'm not dead, people. I'm still here. And for a while, it was like, yeah, she could be one of these people that just, that lives on forever. And you wouldn't expect this to happen, and especially with the terrible year we had before with this pandemic going on to lead into this, the beginning of the year. Like, come on, this
Yeah, it's
this this
rough.
this was rough. This was sad. This was terrible. As you said with your cinema, they were about to celebrate her 100th year and everything like that. Hallmark is actually doing that the next
Special.
week. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing a little special next week. They're playing like 40 episodes of Golden Girls and
Oh Lord.
a movie she was in later on that day too. So like it's gonna be an all day event for her to honor her name. But Bob Saget as well too at 65. That was different. That was crazy
Yeah,
because
that one kind of threw me. So here's the crazy thing, right? I kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
obviously being from the Michigan area, you have a couple big names, and unfortunately, ironically, two names kind of like coexisted, not coexisted, I'm sorry, but kind of rhymed with each other. So when I sent the news out, when I heard the news, I sent it out to my family. I was like, yeah, I meant to say Bob Saget, but I actually told my brother, I said Bob Seger,
Oh
who was a musician from Detroit, also from
yeah,
the Detroit
yeah.
area. My brother's like, I can't find nothing about Bob Seger. I think you're on. I'm like, and then I relooked. I said, crap. I said I meant to say Saget, and then he goes, oh, I found the report, and then started crying. So yeah, it's just shocking, for those Bob's Saget, sorry, Bob Saget. See the confusion already.
Yeah.
Um, Bob Saget was obviously well known for his role on Full House and the appearances he made on Fuller House. He was also at one point in time away. How I remember him, because I wasn't a big fan of Full House when it
Really?
first. A lot of those '90s and '80s shows I didn't really care for at the time, but where I met my introduction to Bob Saget at was during his time as the host of America's Funniest Home Videos. So that's the
Yes,
first time I
yes.
saw. That's the first time I got familiar with Bob Saget, and then went on to do other comedy things. Had a small cameo appearance in the movie Half Baked with Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
The infamous things about how he got cocaine at that point in time in the movie. I'll leave that one alone. And again, with Betty White, like you said, what an icon, what a legend. The Hall of Fame, if you want to call it a Hall of Fame cinema career, model, actress, the type of staple that she was in the movie industry. And you always saw her with a happy face on. I don't think you ever saw her
Oh
at one
yeah, of
point in time where
course.
she was ill-willed or anything like that. So with that being said, we want to take a moment of silence here to recognize those two lives here that we lost. So again, here's a moment of silence to them as well. All right. Thank you again for that moment of silence to Betty White and to Bob Saget.
Man,
Jeremy, go ahead.
uh, America's Funniest Home Videos, man. You got me thinking about this, and like this thought just popped in my head. Like back in the day when we were younger, like, do you think like that was like our first introduction into like YouTube? That was our YouTube as a
That
younger
was
kid.
that was pretty much our YouTube for the time.
Yeah, because like YouTube wasn't around back then, and this was a spot to go to find all these silly, stupid, dumb videos from like around the
Crazy
world,
videos, yeah.
which we soon used YouTube for after that, as soon as it popped up. But like, yeah, that was like the first introduction to YouTube, America's
Yeah,
Funniest
do
Home
a
Videos,
famous
right?
thing. It's something like that, man. Yeah, what a classic show, and I'm sad that they don't really do it like that anymore.
Yeah, I know Alfonso Rivero took over, afterwards to try to redo it, but I
I
don't think
like
it
the
was the
guy after
same.
Bob Saget. I can't remember his name. I think his name was Tom. Tom. He hosted Dancing with the Stars for quite a bit of time here.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know the guy that you're talking about. I don't know his
Yeah,
last
I
name, but I
can't
do
remember his
know.
full name, but he was my favorite of host at that point in time. Alfonso Rivera, he tried, man, but
Yeah,
he'll always be known as Carlton, no matter how you look at it.
it just wasn't hitting the same. But in light of Bob Saget, I will throw this question out there for you. Then we'll move on.
All
Give
right,
me
go for it.
give me your top 3 TV dads.
Oh man, it's gonna be kind of fucked up because I don't think I put Bob Saget in either one because I didn't watch the
No,
show.
no,
But
I mean I wouldn't put Bob Saget in this either. But yeah, what do you think of your top 3 TV dads?
TV dads, I mean, if we're talking, I can only. Here's the thing, because especially with my dad. Rest in peace to my dad.
Yes, rest in peace, man.
I think of different dads. I think of fucking Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin, man. Like those are like the type of dads I think of. Um,
Crazy enough, I did put Peter Griffin in mine. So
Peter
mine was
Griffin, Peter Griffin, Homer Simpson, and I guess you want to call it a dad, Uncle Phil, man. Uncle
that.
Phil.
That's one of mine. So that was the top one. So I put Uncle Phil, Peter Griffin, and this is gonna sound crazy, but if you remember Married with Children, Al Bundy.
Oh yeah, fucking Al Bundy.
Even though he was a terrible dad, he was always ride or die for his kids.
For his
So
family, yeah, of
yeah,
course. The guy's an asshole, but he was right or dead for his family. So, well, Jeremy, I have to ask you something here, man.
what's going on?
I don't think you've ever had, and I hope I'm not gonna get you in trouble here. I don't think you've ever had a hoe phase in your
Oh
life, have
Lord,
you?
a whole face?
A hoe phase, yeah. Like where you're, just, living life.
No, no, I haven't had a whole phase, but I do know someone who is currently going through their whole phase right now. I'm not gonna put them out here, but
Okay,
yeah,
no, that's yeah, no, we don't have to put them out there like that. I just, you
I
kind of
do
know
know
what I'm getting
somebody
at.
that is. So.
All right. Well, I mean, you never had one, right? But I got, I just kind of want to ask you here, if you, hypothetically speaking on your end, right? If you did have one, right? You go and do your thing with someone who you meet, whatever the case may be, right? How do you want to make sure that's all handled, right? Like, how would you disperse of, the protection of it, right? Like, I'm assuming you're a protection guy,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
safe things, right?
Oh yeah. If anything, I've learned, tie it up in a knot and kind of, just flush it down the toilet. Or if you can, trash can it, and just
Trash
like
can that
toss it,
shit.
trash can
Okay.
that shit, and then toss it, quickly, soonly afterwards.
Well, your boy Drizzy Drake,
Drizzy.
he's got a different method here, and apparently it's kind of potentially going to get him into some trouble here. So check this out. Drake is obviously a single dad. Keyword on the single aspect, right? Still living his life and everything. Drake is actually out here taking, eliminating, kids to the next level, especially after he got one that that he wasn't expecting. So according to a report here, an Instagram model that Drake had a encounter with, tried to get Drake, try to tie him down, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, right? And she took the protection, trying to steal, keep what Drake left behind, right, and try to trap Drake. Only Drake said, "Nah, I'm one of the goats for a reason." Drake decided to put hot sauce in that thing, and she didn't know it. So when she went to go try and trap Drake, Drake literally burned her. He dumped some hot sauce, put some hot sauce on that shit. So, Jeremy, I gotta ask you, man. I know I shared the report with you, man, but what is your thought process on that?
Uh, so I've read the story, um, and I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for this woman. I
I don't
don't.
either. I don't feel
I
bad for her.
I don't feel bad for this woman. You went to the bathroom looking for the condom, trying to trap me because you thought you was gonna get like a
Thought he
couple
was supposed to
mil
get a
out of
paycheck.
this. Yeah, you thought a couple months from now, yeah, you about to get paid. No, you got what you deserve. I'm sorry, like it is what it is.
Can I tell you something?
What? Okay, what?
I saw a thing on Instagram. Someone said Tristan Thompson gonna call Drake for some advice.
He need to shit. He need to come on, Tristan, man. You the only one out here messing up. You doing bad, man. You looking making us look bad. Come on now.
For those who don't know, Tristan Thompson is the NBA player who is in a relationship with Khloe Kardashian,
You don't
and
deserve this, Chloe.
has fathered not one but I think now two children from different women at this point in
What?
time.
You're making us look bad, Tristan. Come on now. What
Lamar waiting on that phone call like, baby, yeah, I come back.
what makes it worse with Tristan is like the I don't know the text message or the phone call that he sent to the woman saying, "Here, I'll give you 75,000 to get rid of it." Like, are you serious?
Yo, did you hear about? I don't know if it's true or not yet, but apparently the mother of Tristan's newest child is asking for child support of like 400,000 a month.
How much?
400,000.
The man don't even make that in the NBA season. Like, come on now.
You don't know that. You do not know that.
I'm pretty sure he does not make that in NBA season. Wasn't he rumored to be retiring in like a year? Come on.
I don't know shit about shit at that point in time.
Like, no, come on. You gotta aim a little bit
Like,
lower.
whoa, but
It's Tristan Thompson, all right. It's not Steph Curry. Chill out.
yo, what do you need $400,000 for in child support for a baby that literally needs like
Diapers,
diapers,
infant
formula, and
milk.
clothes?
I need an
That's
itemized
it.
receipt of everything you about to buy with this 400.
You, I'm not gonna go there.
Itemized.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go there.
Itemized. I'm about to use this for tax purposes.
I am not gonna go. But I'm sure that's probably what comes up with that. Like, I need these things that cost X, Y, and Z. So I don't know how that child support thing works. I'm not.
I
I'm
need a
not going
Gucci belt for the baby. Come on now. Baby
Gucci
need new
belt.
J's every week. Get out of here with that.
I need a Gucci stroller for the baby. Jesus mercy. Well, you can't talk one Canadian without mentioning the other. I don't know why I thought that Drake topic was gonna go farther. Just that shit is crazy to me. Like, I don't
It,
feel bad for her. Like, and the fact that she
I
wants to
don't.
sue. She wants to sue. Like, what are you gonna sue for? You're the one who went through the garbage bin.
I like I said, I don't feel bad for her at all, especially if she's out here being one of these Instagram models that's just trying to trap one huge celebrity to make a big payday for a child. Like I don't feel bad for her at all. I really don't. You got girls out here poking holes in condoms. Like my mom warned me about this shit like way when I was younger. Like be on the lookout for women like this.
That's why you strap up and still pull out at the same time. Can't
Yep.
lose. Well, you can't talk
Well,
one can you
well,
can't
now you
talk
got to say double strap. Hold on, you got to say double strap.
no, you
You got to
you
bring the
gotta
condom and the Frank's hot sauce.
oh my god. Fucking, I think Drake took that whole commercial of Frank's hot sauce. I put that shit on everything to a whole nother level. Frank's red hot. Well, listen, man, you can't talk one Canadian without the other, you know. So as Drake is making headlines that way, about his protecting himself in more ways than one, the other Canadian from Toronto, The Weeknd had an album that came out this past Friday, Dawn FM. It's the newest album from Drake. It's the follow up to the After Hours that he has been anticipating. Jeremy, have you had a chance to listen to the album? Yes or no?
I have. I really do need to revisit it and listen to it again to
Mhm.
fully get it again. Because I only listened to it for like first full time around and maybe like half that second time. So I really do need to go back and listen to it like fully
Thoughts
again.
on the album thus far?
Thoughts on the album is it's not terrible, but I don't think it's what I want from the weekend anymore. I think I'm done with this whole disco 80s pop era thing that he has going on right now. Like it was cool for like the last two albums. All right, that's cool. Let's try to move on to something else and be a little different. Cause I mean, it just kind of sounds like the his last two albums. Like I'm just not in it anymore. I think I'm a little bit over it. I know you're a big Weekend fan, so this is probably not what you want to hear. What's your thoughts on the album? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Could it be improved, or is this just is it perfect to you?
Hot take coming here.
Oh boy,
This album's probably just about as bad as Drake's Certified Lover Boy was.
you don't like it at
I
all?
don't. So I went back and I listened to it a couple times, right? Like again, was I fully locked into it, at all times? Probably not. So I need to find the time to like fully sit down, lock into the album and really listen to it, right?
Yeah,
Um I agree with you. It's very 80s disco-ish, which has been his pocket for quite some time now.
at least like
Um,
2 to 3 years. I feel like that's
well,
been his
I know for
mo.
sure the blinding lights, the after hours
After
one,
hours, yeah.
after hours, which I thought was great. After hours, I think is still a great album. But again, when you're saying that this is your follow up now and this is what you're coming out with, because the one thing I've noticed with the weekend, again, being the fan that I am, um, every time he puts out a new project, the sound changes at least to a certain degree. Like, um, I hate referring to it like this, but real weekend fans know the album trilogy is not an album. Stop calling it trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, it was 3 mixtapes that he just decided to put out to the public in one big bundle. And the albums were House of Balloons, Thursday, and Stir of Echoes. Real weekend fans know that. So when everyone calls it trilogy, it makes me cringe, right? But even through those 3, the sounds changed slightly. It was still darker music, but it still changed to a certain degree. Then you hit the new album. Oh my God.
Beauty behind the eyes.
No,
Or
there's an
you mean
album
the
before that.
Kissland? Kissland.
Kissland, yes, Kissland. That one wasn't my favorite, but
No,
the
no.
sound still kind of changed a little bit. Then you got the Beauty Behind the Madness, and then Starboy, and now After Hours and Dawn FM. The sound has always changed. Starboy was a little bit more on the poppy side. You kind of got like again, that's where he first started to play with that pop and electronic sound.
Which
Then After
that's the
Hours.
album I truly love. Starboy, honestly.
Starboy's a great album. No, I'm not saying it's not. I think my favorite Weekend album is probably outside of quote unquote trilogy. I personally like Beauty Behind the Madness a little bit better. I think that's the
Mhm.
album I really locked in, was like, wow, this is like great, well constructed music overall. Starboy gave him that big mainstream push, which is what he had been looking for quite some time and got it. Um, but this Dawn FM thing, man, like I said, there's really only a couple songs on here that I really, really like. What I can say though is shout out to Jim Carrey for the narration of the album the whole time. That was actually Jim Carrey the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, Jim Carrey's the one who's actually doing it, because at the very end it says Phantom Regret by Jim. That's Jim Carrey. And when the album got promoted, it had features from Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's the quote unquote radio voice the entire time.
I did not know that. I thought that was like the weekend and some like alter studio voice that they did, or something weird like that, or just some random person. I did not know that was Jim Carrey.
The album cover could have been better. I don't know why we needed an older version of The Weeknd as the album cover, but
He always does something weird, which is kind of cool, but it's kind of cool and different. But it's like, is it really necessary?
yeah, I mean, like what was I saying? I love the concept of kind of like being on a drive and like listening to an old radio station at nighttime.
Yes,
The
yes.
concept is really well executed. The songs that build into the concept don't really add up. It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
My favorite song is the Out of Time, the one right after the Quincy Jones um, monologue, which getting Quincy Jones to talk on any record, awesome, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Here We Go Again, Tyler the Creator. That's a good one too.
Did
But
Tyler have a longer verse? on this? Like, I feel like his verse was so short.
It was a little bit of a shorter verse, and especially knowing that Tyler's been in this bag that he's in and this little
Yeah,
pocket that he's in right now, I expected something a little bit more. But with what what he was rapping about, I guess it kind of fit into that flow, but it wasn't the greatest thing. And that was pretty much it, man. Like there really wasn't a lot of songs that I would run right back to. Like going back to like my DJ days, I could see how Take My Breath Away would be like a great electronic club song,
of
but
course, yeah.
it's not something that I like want to like bang every day. So
Yeah, I can see that. Take My Breath Away is probably like that lone standout that, you're going to listen to on repeat, but not really fully pay attention to. I don't think I had a lot on this album that I loved. The Tyler the Creator one, Here We Go Again. I Heard You're Married. This is nice. Best Friends. And these are all songs that I can just put on and just have in the background. Like I'm not truly like paying attention to it. So
yeah, exactly. I feel like a lot of this is just more or less like background noise.
yeah. Yeah, like as you were saying, like every single weekend album that we got, you heard that growth, that that little change that came with each album. Whereas this and After Hours, like it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Now, again, the weekend has come out and put a tweet saying, probably pretty much, he said, you probably didn't realize you're listening to a trilogy. We're in the middle of pretty much referencing that this is a trilogy, another trilogy concept. But I don't know if that means that this is the finale of the trilogy project. Again, I think Starboy kind of like, made that initial sound and this kind of capped it, or if this is the middle aspect, like this is the Thursday aspect, and then we're gonna get one more album that closes that out. If I get another weekend album like this, I'm gonna pass. But if I get something more or less along a mixture of After Hours and this, I think I may be okay. But this is not my end all be all album for the weekend.
I feel like it's exactly what you said. I feel like this Dawn FM is like the middle part of this trilogy, where After Hours is the beginning. You got this, and then the last of this trilogy will be some Starboy s type of poppy album that we'll get out of this,
But if
which
the
I'm hoping
weekend,
for.
yeah, if the weekend makes, if I can get two more albums from the weekend, right? Let's just say the weekend, calls it a career and has two more albums left, right? I need the last album to go back to that. I need a mixture of the trilogy and um like
Beauty
the
Behind the
first. I need a
Madness.
mixture of like the first quote unquote five albums. I need a mixture of House of Balloons, Thursday, Stir of Echoes, Kissland, and Beauty Behind the Madness.
Okay.
That's what I need a mixture of in the final album. Like if I can get two more, because again, the trilogy is obviously going to be another pop disco vibe, which I'm kind of over at this point in time. But for the new one, for if he does one more after this last one, this next one that he's going to do, give me something old school. Give me something like that.
All right. I mean, I can definitely see that. Hopefully, he's working towards that. I know his brain and how he works and operates is just completely different from a lot of artists out there. So seeing him create, hopefully this next album, this into this trilogy is something like that.
Like give me a reverse, like go into this, like build this momentum of pop, 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 and next thing you know, like, all right, now we're going backwards again.
Yeah.
That would be nice to me, but that's just me thinking out loud. All right, a couple more topics here, and then we're gonna wrap things up here. Well, speaking of playing it safe and having a whole phase here, Evan's boy Kodak Black here is a foul creature is a foul person for this one. So I believe this is what at a Panthers game in Florida. You said
Yeah, Florida Panthers, the hockey team.
the
Yeah.
hockey team. Okay, so the Florida Panthers had a game going on, and Evan's boy Kodak Black had a press not even a press conference. It had a suite, where things you could see everybody in the in the suite lounge. And somebody catches a video of Kodak getting really, really close and personal to a young lady that's there in the suite with them. And I know for a second it took me a second to kind of realize what was going on, but Kodak Black was giving some back shots during the Panthers game. Jeremy, I need you to react and what someone's got to stop this man. That's all I can say at this point in time.
All right, so the Super Gremlin rapper Kodak Black. Yeah, I've seen two videos of this. It's shot from two different angles. One was, I believe, the one I sent you guys, where it's like a straight
like
shot,
across, yeah,
a straight shot across, and then another one from someone who is actually in the suite with him. And from the second video that was shot in the suite, the guy saying like, "Oh no, they weren't doing it. He wasn't giving the back shots. It's fine. She was just twerking on him. That's all that was." But from the video,
the OG video, they look like back shots.
From the video in the suite, nah, that look a little suspicious. And the video cuts off so quick too. It's only about like 5 to 6 seconds. That's it. But from the video, yeah, homegirl skirt up, back all out. Kodak, you can't really see nothing, but you don't really see the pants up all the way. I'm just saying.
Fam.
I'm just saying.
My thing is this: if you look at that OG video, the one that's like straight across, there's a security guard like in that room. Why is the security guard like not saying anything?
I think the security guard was probably the one recording it. If anything, who knows? My thing was you had people to the left and the right of you in suites. Like they didn't like peek over.
Well, I think in the OG video, you see one of the guys kind of like looks over, like what's going on over there.
Hey, yo, they're over there wilding. I don't know what is happening in this game.
Fam, Kodak has to be stopped. That's all I can say. Kodak has to be stopped.
We can't go to hockey games, man. We just can't.
And why a hockey game of all places? Like
he probably got confused. He thought he was going to a Miami Heat game or something.
Oh no.
He's like, "Oh, this hockey? All right, my bad."
Evan, I need you to call your boy down in Florida and tell him that he's got to stop doing what he's doing, man.
I mean, they are wild in Florida. They don't care.
So Florida, never mind.
They got them wild thoughts.
That's some Florida shit for you, but I'm gonna leave that one alone. All right, and to close out here, we got a topic that we want to talk about here. So it was mentioned back in 2019 that they were going to be doing a new an updated version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We did get our first trailer for it. I wish I could show it to you here, but again, copyrights and all that other stuff here. But Jeremy, I want to ask you with the first look that came out, the first trailer. It looks very similar to the original show, but it does look like it has a different take. Give me your first reaction to the trailer that you saw.
Well, yeah, as you said, it does look like it follows the original story from Will Smith and everything back on the TV show we used to watch, but it does have this feel of more drama, more of a real life movie feel. From the first viewing of the trailer, it looks like it's not a comedy at all. So we're not going to get any funny out of this whole thing. Like it's more serious, but I mean, I'm still going to watch it, but I'm going to be a little disappointed because even though it's a reboot, it's like I was still kind of hoping to get that comedic relief, that jokiness here and there, but still yet keeping up with the times of what we're going through right now and everything. But I know Will Smith is like the executive producer on it and everything. So I guess I kind of want his take and his opinion on why he chose to go this kind of straight dark path to the character of Will Smith in Bel-Air versus how we used to see it on TV being a comic person. So
I don't necessarily mind it. Like, I mean, I'm kind of with you. Like, yeah, same aspect. I got like I was anticipating it have like some comedy behind it. I'm not expecting to be a full-fledged comedy show like how the original one was. Right?
Yeah.
When you think Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you can't help but think, oh, funniness, like the type of comedy that kind of revolutionized the '90s at the time in family sitcoms. But to see it be so like dark and straightforward, like maybe this is Will Smith trying to give like the series after like, okay, like this is what, like while we got off with the funny stuff in the beginning, now let's go back and revisit and kind of give it the real life situations as like, real life situations of what could happen. Like like perfect example. One of the things that I can say is like, what I'm not looking forward to is the initial tension that you see between Will and Carlton, right? Like
Hmm.
when in the trailer, you can tell like there's tension. Oh, one day you'll have to tell us why you're really here in LA. Like, and he says it in like a smart ass way, like,
Yeah, like a smug type of way.
yeah, like I'm not feeling that, like when I think Fresh Prince of Bel Air, I want there to be a little bit of laughs, right? And I'm sure maybe it'll start off dark and serious and evolve into a lighthearted thing as the show grows on and continues. Um, but with that being said, like I'm curious to see how it's going to start off here. Like they give you the dark, serious side of it, which is fine, but it looks like they're trying to mix it, make it look like one of those shows, like one of those big Netflix shows or CW shows, like All American or On My Block. It looks something along those
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah, which nothing is wrong with those series, All American and On My Block. I know I watched All American as well too, but it's like as you said, I remember Fresh Prince of Bel Air being this comedy, this '90s thing that we look to just for that comic relief. What Will Smith and Alfonso Rivero and all these people were bringing to the table, it was just different. This black comedy, and now this is just like, all
This
right,
is
like,
different, yeah.
yeah, this is extremely different. Like I don't know. Just the first take off it's like, all right, this is a little rough around the edges. Like I'm gonna watch it, hope that there is at least some comic relief in there, but it's kind of weird, man.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be different, but we'll see how it turns out. So, well, Jeremy, we got anything else? I think we ran through everything pretty quickly here. So, I mean, anything else that we need to address by any chance?
I don't have anything, but I do have a question for you.
What's going on?
So I seen this pop up on Twitter, and I took a
Okay.
picture of it, and it's their question of the day. I forgot what source I got this from, but it's who do you think are the top three most famous women in the world? I have their taken opinion on it, but I wanted to see your opinion of who you thought the top three most famous women in the world are.
Top three most famous women in the world. Oh, geez. I probably have to say Michelle Obama is one of them. Michelle Obama would probably be in there for me.
Yep.
Um, Damn, I feel like that's such a like I should have an answer for this as advocate as we are for like pro equality. I can't think of like an answers right off rips, but Michelle Obama had to be one of them. Um, Jesus mercy. I'm trying to think of like in the bit. Oh, Oprah has got to be another one. And if I had to put something out there, maybe like for a little bit of entertainment purposes, uh, oh Jesus God, all of them. Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Yeah,
See, yours was similar to mine. I said Beyonce, I said Oprah, and then I said Kim K.
that's not bad. I mean, it's pretty reasonable. But what was the answers that they gave?
The answers they gave was Oprah,
Okay.
Kim K,
Jeez.
and J Lo.
I should have said J Lo, but there I am thinking like what define like what do you think of most famous? I mean, yeah, I guess she could be up there.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely to be brought up for debate. I mean,
You think she's
from
top
her,
five?
she's definitely top five. Yeah, definitely top five. Just for her story, her upbringing, everything that she's been through. I mean, everything that she is right now. I mean, for as old as she is, to look at the way she does and everything that she's
Dog.
still doing, like, hey, hats off to you.
Hats off to fucking 6 infinity rings.
Them 6 infinity rings, pushing back
Infinity
time. That's what they do.
for real. That's how she does it. I
That
got this
time
one.
stone.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Speak Your Piece. Again, Jeremy, thank you so much for being able to jump on the show with me. Sorry we couldn't be in person, but
No problem,
hopefully,
man. Thank you.
hopefully my days of being touched by Omarion are done here in a little bit. But again, just want to remind everybody, make sure you're following us on our Facebook page, speakyourpiece.com/speakyourpiece. And again, make sure you follow us at our new Instagram handle, the handle of Speak Your Piece 313. As you guys can see from the recording we're going to put up, that's where you're going to be able to see it. So hopefully that helps you guys out. And again, be on the lookout for our SoundCloud page. We will be promoting it as soon as that goes up. It'll probably be up today or tomorrow for sure, or depending on when this goes up, probably sometime between the very latest Monday. But we just want to make sure that you guys are aware that that's going to be going on. All right. Jeremy, anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Just one thing to please that we are doing a fundraiser for Cave Radio for everyone out there. They're trying to do this to, to at least, help pay the bills, keep the studio up and working. They got some things going on right now that they're having trouble with. So please, if you have some time, just donate if you can. And anything, it doesn't really matter. Anything from $1, 10, 5, it really doesn't matter. But they are doing a raffle right now. They're raffling off a signed Miguel Cabrera frame jersey that's got a couple inscriptions on it. It looks pretty sweet. I know I've got, my ticket in for a couple of those as well, too. The raffle is going on right now up until the 17th. That's when they will announce the winner. You need not be present to win, but when you do send in your payments, please include your name and phone number. The raffle is $10. And as I said before, please include your name and phone number because you need not be present to win. They just want to know somehow, some way they can get in contact with you just in case you do win. Raffle's $10. There's a couple payment options that you have right now that you can choose from. But we'll do the top three that we normally mainly use: Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. Cash App is $Cave Radio. Venmo is at Daniel Mayer
Yep.
Mayer 13. That's DANIEL Mayer 13. And PayPal is DEEJER at Cave Radio Broadcast. Once again, this is a $10 ticket raffle for a signed Miguel Cabrera frame jersey. Like I said, it looks pretty sweet. It would definitely be nice in someone's man cave or just to hang up, just to prove that, hey, you're a big Tigers fan. So please donate whatever you can. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Again, Cave Radio is the major location that we record at currently. So again, we want to support local business as well also. So again, to make sure that, all funds and proceeds do go to Cave Radio Broadcasting, help keep the lights on, things along those lines. And just, again, gives them another year of legitimacy in the business also, especially here in the Michigan area also. All right. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here again. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, don't forget those social media platforms we talked about. Again, the Facebook page and then the Instagram page also here. So with that being said, we're going to call it a night here. So again, Jeremy, thank you for showing up. And everyone else,
man. Peace.